Starting live video. Go ahead.
Good morning, Divine Order. How are we this morning? We're giving honor and glory to God, even in such an hour as this. We know that the regular mode of service has been disrupted by this coronavirus. However, there's still a word from God, and we are still going to give God his due honor, praise, and worship. Hello to everyone else, along with the Divine Order family. I want to thank Divine Order for your obedience and sending your tithes and offering by Cash App, because we do realize that even though this is going on, we still have obligations. I want to ask you to remember my cousin Eric Carson in prayer. This morning he called. Y'all know that he normally texts me every morning. He called this morning. We went to Chillicothe, Ohio last year to help celebrate his 5th anniversary. And this morning he called. His father passed away this morning, my Uncle Sonny Carson. So we're going to ask that you would keep that family, the Carson family, as well as myself, in prayer. Thank you. Now, we want to call your attention for a few moments as God will speak to us in this hour from Proverbs, the 19th chapter, verses 20 and 21. Proverbs, the 19th chapter, verses 20 and 21. I'm reading from the Amplified, so it may read a little different than what Bible translation you're reading from. But Proverbs 19 and 20 and 21 reads as thus: Listen to counsel, receive instructions, and accept correction, that ye may be wise in the time to come. Many plans are in a man's mind, but it is the Lord's purpose for him that will stand, that will be carried out. Today we want to talk from the subject, life interrupted. And if we look at the situation that's going on with us today, we can see that our lives have been interrupted by this coronavirus. Things that we normally have done, we no longer can do. And some things have been changed. We have to have church at home. Even funerals and weddings have been altered by this coronavirus. Some things have had to come even to a stop. Some people can't even go to work. And that's because there has been an interruption. Today, God has a special word for us: life interruptions. Interruptions come to be an invitation to a deeper walk with God. The etymology of the word interruption is instructive. In Latin, it literally means to break into or to break apart. The coronavirus has broken into our lives and altered life as we know it to have been. But however, along with that coronavirus, God will step in as well. An interruption occurs when something or someone breaks into our life. An invitation can be, an interruption rather, can be an invitation for God to break into our lives. If we let God into the interruption, that moment can actually be life-changing for us. However, if we don't see the interruption as an opportunity for us to for service, that interruption can now be a disruption. Yes. So instead of being angry and saying, why was my life interrupted? What if we would ask this question: what is God saying to me through this interruption? What does God want me to do with this interruption? Is this an opportunity to serve God? The answer to these questions might change our perspective and might change the outcome of what we're dealing with. Life interruptions. I don't know anyone who likes them, who likes interruptions, but they are a part of our everyday life. They can come from other people. They can come from phone calls. They can come from noise. And one of the rules we had when I was growing up was children do not interrupt adults in conversation. God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in him. Yes, God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in him. But if you look at the way things have been going, we have been satisfied with everything and everybody but God. So God has allowed an interruption to come. We have been running around doing whatever we want. And even on Sunday, we have not been obligated to work, but we choose to work. We have chose to do everything but serve God. We have done everything, and we're doing everything but serving God. So God has allowed this coronavirus to interrupt our lives. However, the moment we make our priorities an ultimate thing and give no allowance to God, God will allow these things. But once we turn back to God, God will do those things that are necessary for us. God will interrupt our lives and know it. I was sent this on Facebook, and it has a lot of truth in it. In 3 short months, just like he did with the plague of Egypt, God has taken away everything we worship. Everything we worship has been taken away because we've been worshiping everything but God. God said, you want to worship athletes? I will shut down the stadiums. And that's why the NBA and all of the other things have been interrupted. You want to worship musicians? I will shut down the civic centers. You want to worship actors? I will shut down theaters. You want to worship money? I will shut down the economy and collapse the stock market. And all of this has transpired. You don't want to go to church and worship me? I will make it where you won't be able to go to the building to worship me, because the church is really those of us that have accepted Christ and have joined together to worship him. So now God has allowed this coronavirus to interrupt our normal mode of life. But there is a word from God. He says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. Oh, I like the way that the Amplified reads it. Listen to the Amplified version. If I shut up the heavens so that no rains fall, or if I command locusts to devour the land, if I send pestilence and plagues among my people, and my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek and crave and require as a necessity. In other words, God's saying that you crave to have a relationship with me, that you crave to be with me, that being with me is a necessity and not a privilege, not an opportunity, but something that you feel is necessary. And you seek my face and turn from your wicked ways, I will hear them from heaven and forgive their sin and heal the land. Oh yes, we need a healing today. We need a healing of this coronavirus. We need it to dry up, because it's just not in China. It's just not in the United States, but it's all over the world. And the reason it's all over the world is because the world itself has chosen to put God on the back burner. And God says, I'm a jealous God, and I won't allow you to worship other things and other people and call on me only when you're in need. God say, now if you want this thing to dry up, then my people, those of us that are Christians, those of us that profess to know him, then we must humble ourselves and pray, seek his face, and turn from our wicked ways. Oh yes, then he will hear from us. He will hear from heaven, and he would heal our land. Could it be that we don't need a vaccination? Could it be that we need to take this time of isolation from the distraction of the world and have a personal revival with our focus on the one and only thing that really matters? And that's our relationship with God. Oh yes, we have been busy doing everything but serving God. We've been busy working jobs and tending to our children, our grandchildren, tending to our occupations, tending to our desires, and we have left our first love, which is God. So God has allowed this coronavirus to come in and disrupt our mode of life. But God said he will get it back in control. And this interruption does not have to be a disruption if we seek his face and pray. So I come to you today, not only to you, Divine Order, but all those that are listening. God is calling us to turn back to him. We must seek his face, turn from our wicked ways. We must also humble ourselves and understand that we've been wrong, because we've been doing everything but worshiping and serving God. Even till we're not allowed to go to our churches and worship like we have normally done. God said, maybe I need to let the lives be disrupted so they'll understand what they have had and what they're missing. So I say to us, let's seek the face of God. For there's nothing that can change this situation that we're in except the Almighty God. So I say to you in closing, let us turn to God and watch God turn this thing around. God bless you and have a blessed day. Amen.